So just wrapping up on one of I would consider one of the biggest projects that I've done so far this year with a client by the name of Martin Aquatic, who kind of brought me in to do a little bit of a fun take on a very popular YouTube show. Now I'll show you some of the footage in regards to what we ended up shooting, whether it was photography, videography, and the full-blown podcast / interview setup that we ended up assembling for the Martin Aquatic guys. So if that's something that you're interested in, stick around as I give you a little bit of recap on how myself and Che Knott pulled off a roughly 4 camera shoot that turned into a podcast, also cut into little mini clips, and also a few photos and B-roll shots for you guys to view as well.
Did you hear his question? I heard key takeaways. There were other words. They were blocked out by the inferno. It's traveling through my sinuses right now. The H2 now hitting you.
Oh, we already lost the guy? Guy. Hold on, so do they
not take?
Ah, fuck, bro, we gotta, okay.
So just turn them all off and let them charge until we literally go to roll?
Well, what concerns me now is knowing that, oh no, really? Okay, go ahead and power them down, but I gotta get my Zhiyuns then. So let's jump into the Martin Aquatic final product. Now this was a project that we were brought in to film, edit, and cut up clips for their particular end of year gift / I guess packaging that they're going to be delivering to their customers. Okay, so at this point, we are on our second run of getting gear for today's shoot. Feeling pretty confident in regards to the setup and what I'm seeing so far. In regards to just nice sign in the background, we've got plenty of space, big room. We've got a couple of interior lights that we're gonna have to deal with, some ceiling overheads, try to black them out, taking control of them. But other than that, just getting the rest of the gear. Che should be arriving here in just a little bit. And I would say my goal is to have everything done. We're on pay. They want to shoot at 12:30. I would like to be done, set up at 11:30, so we have a full hour of just kind of like chilling, relaxing, making sure everything's ready to go. But lots of gear. We showed up way early, which I advise is always a good tactic to take. And yeah, here in just a little bit we'll be done, and we will start setting up the building out, showing you guys all the gear. Oh, I'm sorry. Have a good day.
You too.
So you'll see all that gear that we brought. We'll set it up, establish it. I did find out that in regards to this, there will be 3 people at the table each time. I was gonna go shotgun mics, but we might end up having to go full lavalier for this interview, but we'll see. Now, as we were kind of setting up our lights, one thing that we needed to do was get a key light that was going to be extremely high up above, out of frame, and could also spill light onto all of the particular people that were going to be getting interviewed. Now we were able to do that through a nice C-stand setup and then a C-stand attachment that I had recently bought that allowed for that light to kind of go up high and over. Now I'm not gonna lie, I was absolutely terrified in the midst of setting this up because it was the first time I had used it, and I just, you know, when you're hanging things above people's heads, you want to be careful. Now, one thing I had to my advantage is that I was actually using the Lumix X100. Now, the X100 I've absolutely fallen in love with this year because of its size and its weight. So if you're going to be hanging lights up really high, it makes me a lot more comfortable when I'm putting an itty bitty light up there. And actually, the heaviest thing is the actual dome itself or the actual mini dome. So our actual softbox. So I tasked Che with kind of going ahead and matching our Pavo tubes to the actual Martin Aquatic colors. So he was spending his time doing that. I'm getting our key light set up, and then that meant we were gonna make our way into cameras. Now we brought 4 cameras for this particular shoot. A wide, a tight, I guess you could say a wide shot on the 3 guests, and then also a tight shot on our host, Josh. So there's our 4 cameras. The tight shot
the super tight, I guess, up close, was used to be kind of panned and moved back and forth in regards to if someone was kind of isolated or need to be isolated, that was actually our option. And that was set up with the Lumix S5iix with the Canon 24-105 running on autofocus. And I was very happy with how that came out. Our actual wide shot was shot with Che's Nikon Z9. I actually thought it came out really well, and he was shooting with, I want to say, the 24-70 Nikon version. I think he was shooting at like an f2.8 or an f4 because we needed everyone to be, I want to say it was an f4 because we needed everyone to be in focus, and the plane that they were all on actually wasn't the same plane as you guys are probably seeing in the wide shot, the way it was set up. And this wasn't our choice, but I think it still came out nice, was with the kind of V shape. Now, once we got our camera set up, we've got our lights set up, then we also needed to decorate the table. In the beginning, it was just a black table, and between you and I and even the gang there, we were pretty convinced, we needed more. And of course, the ladies there brought in their bandanas, they brought in the hot sauces, the cups, so we started to decorate a little bit more. And the only other thing that we had to set up at that point was audio. Now, audio was gonna be tricky, so I went in with two different options. We laved up everyone, and we also had two shotgun mics above head, kind of one going at the guest and one going at Josh. Now, in a fantasy world, or how it ended up playing out, lavalier audio was an absolute nightmare. Really because everyone was picking up one another, so when I actually operated or got up in the editing bay, it was just a scratch from the beginning. So what we ended up doing is using those shotgun mics, which were going into the Zoom H6. I had some headphones so we could monitor a little bit. And I did some voice isolation within Final Cut, and then took it and put it in Adobe Enhancer, their audio service, tweaked it quite a bit, and that's how we were able to get the results. Now, if I'm gonna critique myself, that was probably my biggest failure of this project outside of, and it still looks fine, but the positioning of the logo, as mentioned, had we been there the day before, I think we would have had a little bit more time to think it out. We would have probably shifted that logo a little bit more to the left so it would coincided more where Josh was at, wasn't hidden behind the actual guest. But they were very happy with the visuals, the audio. I mean, they were thrilled. I am disclosing this to you guys because these are the critiques that I kind of told myself and I told Che. And to combat a few of these things in regards to the microphones, next time we do it, what we would do is drop those shotgun mics extremely lower, shoot a couple of clean slates, because you have to think we're in a completely controlled room, we've blacked it out. What I would end up doing is lowering those shotgun mics. We would then have better audio results that way, shoot some clean slates, and then in post-production, I would go and mask out the actual shotgun mics so that they could be lower. Now, hopefully that makes sense to you guys, but that was kind of my conclusion in regards to they're thrilled, I'm happy that they're happy, but to make this even better next time, we're gonna go with that route.
So officially a wrap, starting to break down. Che's back here shooting some B-roll of the actual hot sauces. And as I was explaining earlier, just as far as lighting goes, yep, key light, 2 lights on the side, just to do our best to make sure that whoever was actually being interviewed was given a chance to not be in the dark. Now, we did have a little bit of issues with our lights down here. Not gonna lie, we love the Pavo tubes? Pavo tubes, okay? I definitely was bragging with Che about them earlier. And then, unfortunately, we realized really quick that we weren't gonna be able to supply it power while also running, so we ended up going the Zhiyun M60 route. So all of our RGB colors are coming from the X60, we've got a second one over there, and then we've got some little bitty lights on the floor that are kicking up to complement the actual signage that Martin Aquatica has. On top of that, we've got some sweet bandanas. We were a little concerned with the table when we first started shooting because everything was just black. One thing that really complemented the whole kind of shoot was the Martin Aquatic guys. They've got their branding, they've got their bandanas, hot sauces to match, and of course we've got some wings. As far as gear goes, you can see an absolute train wreck back here. It's starting to slowly break down, but I have to say, this is not what Che and I normally do. We definitely filmed tons of interviews and stuff, but this is one that was a little bit more, I wouldn't even say challenging, because we knew what we were getting into and we knew what we were gonna do to tackle this. But at the same time, 7 hours of recording, audio, 4 cameras, lights. Got to get it right, which I 100% think we did.
That's a quick little insight into a big project, Martin Aquatic, this year that we kind of knocked out of the park. And I can only foresee that next year, if they thought this was good, holy shit, it's going to be better next year. More YouTube videos coming here. I've been absolutely swamped with work, which is why I've just completely neglected YouTube. My business model has never been based around YouTube. That's always been a venture that was more for fun. And recently it hasn't been much fun. I've been like in this weird sense where it's like, do I do my full-time gig that actually pays, or do I do YouTube and money and paying my bills and supporting my family? That's way outweighs YouTube and a couple of views. But it's exciting to know that going into this holiday season, I got a little bit of a break and I can kind of focus and actually just show you guys some of these projects this year that I've been involved in, because I've been filming it all behind the scenes wise, but I just haven't had the time to showcase it to you guys. So, hey guys, Trey Lowell with Lowell Productions. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like the content I keep creating on this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I just felt the need to deliver that little line because I haven't done it in a long time. It's been like 4 or 5 months. Shout out to anyone and everyone that's been involved in some of these projects I've done so far this year. I'll try to at least give you some credit and a special thank you for hiring Lowell Productions. Oh, look at that. It's done exporting. Here we go. We'll give you a little brief.
Welcome to Hot Takes with Martin Aquatic. Here we're today with some of our team members who are going to give us their hot takes as we take on some hot wings in front of us. Today we're joined by members of our creative team, aka Studio Splash. So we have Becky, Jimmy, and Sydney. Thank you guys for being here. I know you're on payroll, so we forced you to do